Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me. Hey, today I just want to kind of go right back where we left off. I think last time we talked about the traditional ADN versus the paramedic RN bridge and which one's better. Well, today I want to talk to you guys that do have some college. So, welcome to my podcast. All right. So, I talked about for you guys to have some college because I started as a con ed medic, and as a con ed medic, I had zero college. But some of you guys have some college, and some of you guys actually have a degree. So I wanted to kind of give you some options for you guys with some college. And what if you do have a bachelor's degree? Is the paramedic RN program a better choice for you? Well, let's see. So a BSN is a bachelor's science of nursing, and it's usually at a university. And so how the BSN is broken down is usually there's about 2 years of general coursework or about 60 hours. These are just more or less like your general classes outside of your science classes. Well, your science classes are kind of interwoven in there. So you have like your chemistry, you have like your social sciences, you have your humanities, you have your A&P, micro chemistry, you name it. And once you get about 60 hours, then you apply to that university's school or college of nursing. And it's pretty much the same. It's very competitive, it's point based, and it's really based on your grades and your entrance exam score. And if you have anything like maybe CNA or LPN or paramedic, they tend to look pretty, favorably on those other careers. And that kind of gives you additional points to enter. Once you get in the school, then you have 2 years of nursing school. So if you kind of look at it on a time wise, it kind of does look like a better option because you have 4 years total of commitment, which your prereqs are included in your general coursework versus an associate's degree where you would have 1 year pretty much of your coursework, your general coursework, or what we call your prereqs in a 2 year program. It comes out to about 3 years. So if you look at it on paper, then of course, going to a university looks a lot better because you spend another additional year, you could come out with a BSN versus an ADN. So that's an option that I would like to talk to you guys about. Option one, if you have some credits, then you could just simply transfer in the credits that you got. And the more the merrier, because really you just need to finish all your general coursework for the university. Because once you finish your coursework, then you can apply to the School of Nursing. So for you guys to have, you transfer in 30 usable credits, then that means you would only need about 30 more credits before you can apply to the School of Nursing. And that can kind of cut your time down versus if you just went through a whole, associate degree program. So here's the downside to it because of course it looks good on paper, but you have to kind of understand what's kind of behind it, the downside. If you don't get in, then you have to wait a whole nother semester. It's the way colleges work is when you apply, you don't declare the major then. For example, if you just go and apply to a university, you can't say, well, I'm going to be a nursing major because you have to still apply to that school or college of nursing. So you would be listed as what's called a nursing intent. And just like many others, like I know some people who literally went to a university to be nursing, but they didn't get accepted into nursing school. And they either wound up dropping out or they had to declare another major. So another thing to kind of consider is that universities cost more tuition wise than a community college does. Also, if you don't want to wait till the next semester to apply, then you're going to have to transfer to another school. So this is one of the reasons I say grades are important and to kind of take your time and do your grades, because I honestly believe that the competition is, I believe that in the community college has more applicants, but the competition is stiffer at a university because you may have some people who tried to get into PA school or who tried to get into medical school and they rerouted and decided to come to nursing, where you're going to be up against people who probably already have a really high science GPA or a really high GPA. And that's why I say that I think it's stiffer competition at a university. So if you have some college, I would say that a paramedic to RN bridge would be a university BSN. And the reason is because the cost of it at a community college will be a lot cheaper. And also you have less competition at a community college versus that university. The only downside that I see that it'll take you longer to get your BSN because once you finish your ADN, then you will have to apply to a RN to BSN program like I did to get your bachelor's. But a good thing is most RN to BSN programs is only a year long. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. There's another option, and this is for you guys that already have a college degree. If you already have a bachelor's degree, then you could do what's called an accelerated BSN. The accelerated BSN usually ranges from about 12 to 16 months. And this is for a bachelor's degree in nursing. And it's really developed for someone that already have a bachelor's degree. The advantages to it is it takes about 12 to 16 months to get your bachelor's versus that same amount of time, 12 to 16 months for an associate's degree or ADN. To me, that's huge because that's the same amount of time that it would take for you to get a bachelor's versus an associate's degree. Also, the advantages to an accelerated BSN or what's called an ABSN is it's less competitive. So you don't have to go through as many applicants to get a seat as you would a community college or even a university. And also, they're more available. There are more accelerated BSN programs than I've seen paramedic to RN bridges. So I would say you could pretty much apply to. It's easier to apply to them because you have more of them than you do the bridges. Now, here's some of the disadvantages. The disadvantages is it's very fast paced, and some of my friends that I've known or coworkers that went through accelerated BSN, they told me that they wasn't able to work full time. Matter of fact, most wasn't even able to work at all because they had to manage they strenuous coursework with the clinical demand for your BSN in that amount of time. Also, depending on your degree or the age of your sciences, you may have to take or retake classes. Some universities do have a 7-year science limit. So if you got your bachelor's degree like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or even like 8 years ago, you may have to retake your science classes, which can put a little bit of time, add a little bit more time if that's the route that you want to take. And also think about with accelerated BSN, it's at a university. So of course the cost is going to be a lot uh, more expensive than if you was to do a paramedic to RN bridge. But if I compare them both, I would say that the accelerated BSN beats the paramedic to RN bridge. And I think mainly because the same length of time it would take you to go through the paramedic to RN bridge for ADN, you could actually take that same amount of time and get your bachelor's. It's less competitive and it's more of them available. So, guys, I hope I was able to kind of give you some options and just kind of make sure that you follow me on Instagram at paramedic2RN. Make sure you use the number 2. Thank you guys for joining in, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. As always, hey, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at paramedic2RN info. Remember the number 2.